We started Gold's Gym September 1st, 1986. And I was just getting out of the military. I was still in active duty when I got a call at the gym I was training at from Ed Connors, who was one of the owners of Gold's Gym. And him and Pete Grimkowski and Tim Kimber. So Ed had this gym that he'd located that was for sale here in Pacific Beach, and called and asked if I would manage the gym. And he brought a couple other guys down from Los Angeles, you know, fellow gym rats. And my original partner, George Jackson, we've been partners now for almost 34 years. And I managed the gym, and we started, it was a little shithole gym, about 4,000 square feet with gaping holes in the carpet and concrete underneath it. And I slept down at the gym back in those days. And so we'd work all day and then sleep at the gym at night and get back up and work again. And started buying equipment and building the membership up. We had 2 female members at that time, and now I think half, if not over half, of our clientele are women. And we built it up, and we at our location, which was just a couple of blocks from here, that we leased that particular place. And we kept expanding. They had these 1,000 square foot units that were all lined up adjacent, and we just kept knocking double doorways through those units until we got to 10,000 square feet and built a women's locker room in there, and actually put a cardio room in because we had no cardio equipment back then, and built it in. And then that was in 1986. 1993, March of 1993, George and I purchased this property. And my wife and I, when we were in our old Gold's Gym location, I had a motorcycle. We'd drive by and peek in the windows because the building was vacant, but we'd peek in the windows after work, and I'm like, man, this would be a great place for a gym. Like, it's big, huge, high ceiling, and buy a lot more equipment in there and build it up, and it worked out very well.
So when did you become World Gym?
We became World Gym. Gold's Gym had sold their franchise, and they sent us a new agreement, which was extremely corporate, and we're anti-corporate here. We're just gym rats running a business and taking care of our clientele, and we don't appreciate anyone telling us where to hang our clocks or who to buy our equipment from, have it approved and whatnot. And so then I drove up to Marina Del Rey and met with Joe Gold, who was still alive at the time, and he owned World Gym. And Joe Gold was happy, open arms to have us part of the World Gym family, and he was familiar with our gym and knew we had a good reputation, so he wanted the World Gym name on our building here, and let us have anything we wanted in that franchise agreement, including the same franchise price we were paying for Gold's Gym. And then we moved in here, so it was a big move and a little scary at the time, a few sleepless nights, and built it up. Okay, so we jumped ship from Gold's Gym, and Joe Gold took us on. And one of the last things I said when I left Joe Gold's office was, "Joe, you don't have any plans to sell the gym, correct?" He said, "Absolutely not." Well, Joe Gold passed away, and they ended up selling World Gym. And then, and as of last year, our agreement was up, and the new agreement was very similar to the Gold's Gym corporate agreement that we didn't particularly like, and try to get grandfathered in and leave us alone, or we'll just do our own name. And George and I and 2 of the World Gym owners up in Victorville all sat down and came up with the name, and it's great. The logo's great, the name's great. So now we own the property, we own the name, and so nobody can really mess with us anymore. I don't think it affects it at all, and I don't have any photos of myself in the gym. We passed the baton on competitive-wise years ago, and now we're all into our younger crowd and older guys, actually, male and female, that are competing. There's so many people that compete since they opened up with the figure and the bikini and the masters and all these different classes. So in that respect, it's wonderful that it opens the doors for moms to come in and get on stage, and from young to old and everybody in between. It's awesome. I mean, we have people that when they join up and they say they plan on competing, you know, and you see them when they join up and you're just like, well, good for you, you know, but you're kind of thinking in your mind like, really? Then you see them when they get ready for a show and they get hooked up with an awesome trainer in here and they diet down and you're like, God bless you, man, well done. And it's just fun. But we passed that baton on competing years ago. Those were fun years and never to be forgotten, but made a lot of friends throughout those years, competitive bodybuilders that like Aaron Baker and Sean Ray and Flex Wheeler and, you know, guys that were around, you know, back in my days, because I used to go up to Gold's Gym in Venice and train because that's where all the action was back in the 70s and 80s. And, you know, that was the Mecca. And it's kind of amusing because now they come down from LA down here to train. Well, I've got a great family of partners, starting with Brad. George, I mentioned already, and Brad's been with me for 31 years, and he's prior military also. And then Ed Shinborn's a really good buddy of mine that started working, you know, 20 plus years ago. And then Ted and Mike, and one of my boys, Alec, works here also at nighttime. But it's a crew. And it's got to go on 20 hours a day that we're opened in here. And it takes every one of those individuals to make it go off, you know, and they're all great. And ambiance is a huge part of the gym business. You can have the most ideal and perfect equipment and not have any ambiance or anybody creating any ambiance or shitty customer service, and that gym just won't amount to, you know, what you would like it to. You know, if you really want to go a long ways, you have to have the equipment, a diverse amount. You've got to have the ambiance, you've got to have the customer service, and keep it clean. And take care of your members. You know, keep your prices fair. I mean, with that formula, there's no way you can't be successful as a gym owner.